Well, good afternoon. We've taken care of the bell, and we hopefully are recording. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Akron. We are part of a team of 1.2 million Rotarians worldwide, working together to make the world a better place. I'm Linda Farkas, and I'm honored to be the 2022-2023 president of our club. Thank you for joining us today in person and online. If you would now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, our four-way test, followed by the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Then if we look at our four-way test, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it partnership or will be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you so much. Connor?
Thank you, Linda. I will take a moment to make an announcement. So as the newly minted Sergeant of Arms, it's my job to help facilitate the smooth running of the meetings, and that includes standing in for invocators when we don't have the slots filled, and you're probably thinking that this was part of my regular job as often as I'm up here, but it's not. So I am going to be sending out another email to the club to try to get some more folks signed up for invocation. That's why I'm stepping in back to back. And you're probably thinking you missed Dave Hall, because he was a heck of a lot less sweaty than I am after getting this room set up too. So I am going to get a committee going to help with setup and tear down. But to invocate real quick, just an encouraging word. It's National Ice Cream Sandwich Day. I don't know why I've been on this kick of seeing what national day it is for, I don't know, the past few weeks now, but I don't know about you guys. I love ice cream. I love ice cream sandwiches. Life's too short not to treat ourselves. Again, yeah, work out, burn it off, all that. But it made me think about how we should have something to look forward to each day. You know, even in the midst of the mundane, I think happiness is found within. And the just, you know, my encouragement and challenge to each and every one of us would be to find something today and every day, whether it's something little like picking up your, you know, an ice cream sandwich, reaching out to a loved one, a family or friend from the past that you haven't talked to in a while, but find something to look forward to, something that sparks joy in your life. Do that thing every single day, make someone's day. So that would be my challenge to all of us. And why am I going with that theme? Well, hey, ice cream brings me joy. Probably going to pick up myself a little ice cream treat for the wife and the family tonight too. So I'd encourage all of you to do the same. If you just bow your heads with me real quick here. Father God, we're thankful for this day that you've given us, for its blessings, its opportunities, its challenges. May we appreciate and use each day that comes to us. We pray for strength, for guidance each day as it comes, for each day's duties, for each day's problems. May we be challenged to give our best always, and also challenge us to seek out joy each and every day, even in the mundane. And may we be assured of your presence with us. Amen.
Thank you so much. Our greeter this afternoon is Doug Cole. He is a club director and president of the Akron Rotary Foundation. So, Doug?
What an intro. Just wanted to welcome our visiting Rotarian. We have one visiting Rotarian today from the Medina Sunrise Club. There's one over at the table there. Greetings, friends in Zoom land. Sorry about that. We have one visiting Rotarian today from the Medina Sunrise Club, David LaRevere. Welcome, David. And we have one other guest, that escaped past our check-in point, but I'll let our guest, Charles Guthrie, our guest speaker, Charles Guthrie, maybe you can introduce your guest, please.
All right, today's guest that came on the journey with me is Mr. Carrie Jackson, and Carrie serves as the head of community engagement for the university, works directly for the president of the university, and is doing an outstanding job of bridging, the South Exchange areas with the university.
Which university?
University of Akron.
That's right. The outlooks in that.
I hope there's no Kent State fans in here. It's all zip territory. So we're excited for Carrie. He's not only that, but Carrie transitioned from being, the assistant chief, I think it is, for the university. They did that far, sorry. But he was a police officer for the University of Akron for several years, and he was the liaison to athletics. So, when you have 500 student athletes between the ages of 18 and 21, something can go wrong when they're away from home. So he was really instrumental in building great relationships with our student athletes so that we would actually get ahead of problems before they actually happen. So we really connected with him, and we go on the trails together, and he's a great partner for the university.
Thanks, Charles. What's our guest for today?
Welcome to all our guests. I would like to call special attention to a good friend. He's visiting us today, so it's so wonderful to have Roger Reed with us today. So Roger, thank you so much for coming. It's a blessing to have you with us today. He's also a past president of our club, so you can't overlook that wonderful title of Rogers, and a big supporter of the Akron Rotary Camp. So thanks again, Roger. It's good to have you here. So do we have any Rotary ambassadors that are out visiting other clubs? No? Do we have anybody online that visited another club possibly? No? Okay, well, we'll just zip right along. That's good. So let's look at happy dollars. Anybody happy today? Oh.
I'll collect it.
Okay. Thanks, Connor.
Dr. Doug's happy, kicking us off, all right.
Yeah, no problem. Dr. Doug. I'll do $5 happy. And for those of you who don't know, I'm Dr. Doug, because I spent 35 years at the University of Akron, and about 32 years as a season ticket holder. So that's one thing to be happy about. Also, you'll notice on the tables, and for those of you in Zoom land, we have flyers here, but available online for the annual cornhole tournament coming up on August 27th down at Rotary Camp to benefit the camp. Along with the cornhole tournament, we do have a raffle. We're still looking for raffle prizes for really valuable experiences, like going to a football game. So we might be able to arrange something like that. We'll talk after lunch. And then one other happy dollar event. This past weekend, we welcomed our exchange student Yara to Akron. We had President Linda hosted a little picnic at her house. And if Connor had shown up there, he would have discovered that we had ice cream.
Oh.
Yes, so
I missed out.
so what would you have done for a Pond Lake bar?
I don't know, they would have wanted to see that. It was the last one. All right. Dan, thank you, Dr. Doug.
Well, Doug stole my thunder here. I was going to say what a nice event we had at Linda Farkas's house. She's got a beautiful place on the lake. We met Yara Martin, I think her name is. And I don't think Susan Coble is here, but we ought to thank her for all the work she did, putting all this stuff together. We had a good turnout.
Thank you, Dan. You.
Yes, I've got $5 happy. Number one, we had such a wonderful event out at the camp. It's always great to be out there at the camp with our goodbyes to our past president. Not a roast, but just, it was a fun event, nice to see people in person. as it always is. And also, happy dollars for Roger Reed. I've been in the club for many, many years, and I remember when Roger was up there being president and conducting his greetings in the club.
Thank you.
Long time.
Lance? All right, not to pay, all right, you look like you were reaching, so, all right. All right, there's a couple bucks, all right, thanks.
So, Roger and his brother Gerald worked with my father for many years, and I think Roger knows that my father loves a great joke, so I'm gonna share this with you today. Like, the guy goes to the doctor, and he learns he's got this terrible illness, and he's only got a year to live. So he's a little depressed, so he calls his pastor, and he says, you know, can you give me any advice? And his pastor says, well, I'll tell you what to do. Go out and buy yourself a late model 70s Dodge pickup truck. Go find the meanest woman you can find and marry her, and then move to the panhandle of Oklahoma and live there in a trailer park. And the guy says, wow, is that going to make me live longer? And the pastor says, no, but it's going to make whatever time you got left seem for like forever. All right. There you go. There's your humor.
We missed that, Lance, thank you. All right. 5 happy dollars, yeah, I'll get change for Dan here.
Thank you very much. So it's good to be here in person after a summer hiatus. Camp is winding down this week. We have our last group of campers, and it's really exciting that we've had a pretty almost normal summer, whatever that means anymore. Also happy to just share a little bit about the regatta. It's coming up. Geez Louise, September 24th. Mr. Roger Reed is our co-chair of the event with Mr. Andreoli, and it's just coming together to be a spectacular event. So invitations are going out in the mail today, and we look forward to seeing everybody at the regatta, the cornhole tournament, and at the end of August, our last 2 meetings this month are going to be at Rotary Camp as well. So you're going to spend a lot of time at Rotary Camp in the upcoming months.
Thank you, Dan. Anyone else happy in here or online? Oh, okay, we got some, there we are, all right.
The first dollar is for Dan and the program today. First dollar is for Dan and the program today. I want to welcome you. The second one is for the honor of being with the Akron Club. You're always so prestigious. I learned something from you every time I come. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here. Am I missing anyone online, Terry, or those out in virtual land? Anyone happy? If not, I think that is it. All right, Linda, back to you, it looks like here. I squeak on these boards. I don't know what that is.
Thanks to everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so good to be happy. I was wondering, this sounds a little pessimistic, but I was wondering, I felt like doing $1 today for a sad day, because this is August and that means we're going back to school. So I have $1 for a sad day, because I don't particularly want to think about our kids going back to school, but I know that their parents are probably really happy to have them back in school again, but that means I have to go back to work too. But anyway, so that's my $1 sad day. Other announcements that we have, I would just like to remind everyone that our service project at the Akron Canton Food Bank is the third Wednesday of every month. It's the 17th. 4:30 to 6:30. David Hall heads that up, and he's, I think, on vacation or couldn't be with us today. And we will have a social following, so please note that August 17th at the Akron Canton Food Bank. And then our survey that went out to all of our members, you have to August 15th. So we are asking that you please fill that survey out. We're anxious to hear what you have to share, ideas with our club. Dan, do you want to put up a slide about the regatta, if it's available. I don't know, check with Cheryl. Do you have the slide for?
Yeah, we can't see you. Everybody on Zoom is saying they can't see you.
Now we see.
I don't like to be on camera. Dan Reynolds is going to share some really good news about the regatta.
Well, there's always so much good news to share. So as I've said before, this year's regatta is focusing on our waterfront at camp. And a few of the features that we're looking to integrate through the regatta event is, number one, our swim area. We're going to surround our swim area in floating docks to protect it. And I'll share a little bit more about that. But we're going to do some more, we're going to make our boating more accessible, the canoes and kayaks, so we're going to do some floating docks there. We have our fishing pier, which has already been sponsored by a Rotarian, so really excited to share that. And we're going to do a sensory garden, which is being sponsored by a Rotarian as well. And the hammock village is also being sponsored by a Rotarian right now. So really pleased about all the support and sponsorships. We got news just last week that the Lehner Family Foundation is sponsoring a pontoon boat for us this year. So we're going to increase our fleet again. And I guess the biggest news that I'm really excited to share is that Rotarian John Daly had left camp some money to be used for water, and we're going to be naming our beachfront the John Daly swim area. So, if you know John, you couldn't think of anything more appropriate. And if you'd like to help sponsor and meet that challenge, we'd love to have you do that as well. So come find me, Mella, and we'll talk more. Thank you. Thanks, Cheryl.
Thanks, Dan. We had a great time stuffing envelopes last night with your invitation. So please read it carefully because there was a lot of love that went into it. It was a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Dr. Rob is here today, and I just want to personally say thank you for a great toast to our past president, Steve Bowie. So thanks, Rob, for your efforts in the Scottish touch to the event. It was a lot of fun to be at camp and on the water. So thank you so much, sir. It was a pleasure.
So the invitations, we have them up front, they're going out, and maybe not an hour at the company.
Oh, so we have some invitations here. So wonderful. Thanks, Mella. Good job. Susan Koval-Hall is not here today, but we want to thank her also for coordinating our Rotary Exchange get-together Sunday. And we had a good time. It was fun to see two girls trying to get into a kayak built for one. And we had a lot of laughs, and the weather was cooperative. So we're really excited about that. And then don't forget the cornhole. It's right there. So don't dismiss that. It's a fun time outside, lots of challenge. And then Dan alluded to the fact that our two meetings this month, the 23rd and the 30th, will be at camp. Bounce has an event going on here in our room, or their room, I guess I should say. And we're going to have the opportunity to be at camp and in the cafeteria, possibly. And so that is again, August 23rd and 30th at camp. So please join us at camp. That'll be a fun time.
And we have round tables.
And yes, that's so exciting. You have round tables. So I'll have to see if we can get linens for those tables yet. We'll have to see if we can get linens for those tables. So that'd be good. At this time, are there any other announcements that we would like to share with our wonderful people that are gathered here today? Any other announcements? Okay. At this time, we have a very special event. It's our first of our new year, our Rotary year. And Tom Knauer, you have a person that's going to be inducted today. Yeah, I got it. You can stand. Here, I need to give this to you. So you know this, and this, and this too. All right, so we're again really excited, and Rotarian Tom brought forward Michael Cahill. I was right in thinking about it, so that was wonderful. So I got it right. Yay. We will now proceed to admit you into membership in the Rotary Club of Akron, and so to the fellowship of Rotary throughout our world. I understand that you are aware of the Rotary Requirements and that you have indicated in your willingness to follow them, as well as your willingness to offer your services to assist your fellow Rotarians in their community and international projects. Rotary is a service club, and each member performing what Rotary terms as service above self, as you saw in our 4-way test. Every member is hopefully able to perform his or her share of the club and community service, and the committees of the club will afford you opportunities to give service and become a welcome leader in our club. In addition to service, you will have the benefit of strong bonds of fellowship within and with our fellow Rotarians, locally and worldwide. And lastly, but by no means, our ideal of friendship. So we expect to receive, as you expect to receive, so you give. May you be stimulated by the friendships that you find here within our club and also internationally. And may we in return know that you will be an added source of strength and friendship to our club here. In electing you to membership, we are doing more than taking you into our fellowship. We are making you a trustee with us of Rotary's ideas. Knowing you to be a Rotarian, the world will henceforth judge Rotary by your conduct. Membership in Rotary is an honor and a privilege, and every privilege has its corresponding obligations. So, in asking you, will you uphold the high traditions of our club, be supportive of its board and its membership, support the service projects and goals of our club, our district, and of Rotary International for the coming year?
I will.
Thank you. It is my privilege and honor to induct you as our very first new member of the Rotary year into the Akron Rotary Club. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tom will do the honor of pinning. No, he won't. No, okay. You can put it on his collar. So he now has his emblem of Worldwide Association, and wear it with pride, and know that in one of the pins that Tom gave you is our new theme, and it doesn't say it on there, but the symbol stands for Imagine, and it's long ago, before you were born, 1971, a wonderful Beatle did the song, I Imagine. So I hope that you will always keep that in mind. And you also have your badge, and this is your name badge, and this is to show the world that you are now an official Rotarian. Wear it proudly, and we welcome you again.
Thank you.
Was in the flag? Yeah. Is that okay? Thank you. Thank you again. Congratulations. Thanks, Mark. Wonderful to have you. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, phew. That's the first one. Yay. Oh. So again, we welcome Michael. Jerry Kiefer's going to do the introduction of our guest speakers. So Jerry, I welcome you to the podium and the introduction.
Thank you. So Mr. Guthrie, would you come up, please? Now you can see the long and short of it. Literally. Okay, Charles Guthrie is Director of Intercollegiate Athletics at the University of Akron. He was named to that post on May 4th, 2021. He comes to Akron from the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay, where he served as Director of Athletics since late 2017. At Green Bay, Guthrie led a department of coaches, staff, and more than 240 student athletics, competing in 14 NCAA Division I athletic programs as a member of the Horizon League Conference. I could go on and on. It goes on for 5 pages. This is a really distinguished speaker, but I'm just gonna let him take over. So, Charles?
Thanks for having me. And yeah, these bios in college athletics can be pretty long-winded, you know. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm delighted to represent the University of Akron. I first want to, thank Ms. Ann Jorgensen. She's on the Zoom call for setting up this opportunity to come speak. Ann has been with the department for a long time, and she's done a tremendous job in community engagement and reaching out and making these events possible. I'd also like to thank, everyone knows Roger Reed, but Roger Reed has been very influential in my role as the athletic director from day one. We hit it off right out the gate at the Akron family restaurant, and he's continued to be a great supporter and a friend of the University of Akron and athletics. So, thank you for all you're doing, and of course my guest Carrie, who works at the president's office. I'd also like to thank Dr. Miller. I don't know if you had a chance to meet Dr. Gary L. Miller, who's the president of the University of Akron, but we've got a lot of great things cooking at Akron. I think they like to say we're on the rise. I think we're already rising. I think it's showtime. I mean, it's time to, as they coin it, collect our respect around here now in all that we do. And from enrollment to ensuring that our facilities are first rate, to ensuring that our students that come on not just for athletics to the campus are having a dynamite experience, engaging with the community. You see the connection that we have with the mayor's office. There's just a lot of great energy building at the University of Akron. And it's not just in athletics. If you go to the admissions department, housing, financial aid, everyone at the campus is doing great work, all behind one vision: to be excellent and strive to make that university to maintain its greatness. As you know, University of Akron is a special place for this area. I mean, a lot of people's kids have gone there, folks' kids have gone there. Many in the room have gone to the University of Akron. It's a dynamite campus, and it's a gold mine. So you can just see, you can see my energy just beaming on how special the University of Akron is. All right, I'm going to talk about the program, and then I'm going to open it up for some questions if you have any questions about the program. But I'm going to give you a quick little rundown of what's going on in the Zips world. So, started a job about a year ago, and in that time, we've hired, I think, 6 new coaches. Phenomenal. We've hired, of course, the football coach, Joe Moorhead, and I'm excited about the football team. I can't, since we're being recorded, I don't want to get ahead of myself because we went to the football media day and sandbagged it and told them how bad we were because we didn't want people to know what we really got cooking. But If you know anything about Coach Joe Moorhead, University of Akron was named the #1 football hire in America by ESPN last year. Coach Joe Moorhead, just 3 years ago, was beating Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl out of the SEC. And so to attract that type of talent to the University of Akron is just remarkable. And what people fail to realize is Coach Moorhead was here. He was actually the offensive coordinator the last time we won the MAC championship. And so when we won the Motor City Bowl, or the MAC championship up in Detroit, and we had 15,000 people show up, he was calling the plays. And I actually remember the play, you see it on Twitter. It was the Luke Getzey to Dominic Hickson in a go route, and they won the game up in Detroit. And so having that tradition come back to Akron and be a part of the program again, and he just can't wait to turn this place around. You know, he saw the big vision. I remember going out with the president to Oregon to do a home visit. You know, when you go recruit coaches, you got to do a home visit. And he said, man, I just don't understand. You guys have invested so much in that football stadium, invested so much in those athletic facilities. You know, we just need a captain to steer the ship right. And I think we've hit the jackpot. But of course, you got to do it on the field. But everything he's building from day one it tells us we're going to have success on the field as well. And off the field, I mean, the discipline he's instilled in those young men is just tremendous. I haven't, knock on wood, Carrie, I haven't gotten any calls at midnight since he's been at the helm. So really excited about what he's doing. Of course, you know, men's basketball, we came off a great run in the NCAA tournament. Don't know if you watched that, but we had UCLA on the ropes. We were up 7 points with 3 minutes to go. And then, you know, that sixth person on the floor gets involved. You know who that is, the referee. But I don't want to blame everything on the referee, but I'm just telling you, it was really odd that Enrique Freeman was fouled out when he was dominating both NBA post players from UCLA, and they fouled him out of the game with like 5 minutes to go, and the game changed on us. But I knew we were going to win that game. I was so confident that Andy Katz from ESPN walked over to our SID, said, I need you, I need you, I need you. I said, boy, we're about to win this thing. We're about to take out UCLA here. And I felt that we'd have beat UCLA. We probably got to the Sweet 16 because I thought we were a better matchup against St. Mary's. But it's just those little deals. You know, a guy hits a three-pointer from half court, the little point guard from UCLA that changed the game. And then they got like 5 offensive rebounds in one set, and we're able to knock down a 3 and get back in the game. But we had the momentum. The crowd turned on UCLA. I don't know if you've ever watched the NCAA basketball tournament, but when the underdog starts to win, the crowd starts to turn on the favorite. And it was just electric being out there in Portland. But prior to that, you know, I got to put a plug in. We beat Kent State for the MAC championship, and that was awesome. Yeah. And so beating Kent State up at the MAC championship in front of 15,000 fans was thrilling. And, you know, we're excited about men's basketball. He brings 6 of his 7-minute players back. And we also signed a transfer, 6'8" kid on the Bahamian national team from Ole Miss. And so we're excited about him. We also signed one of the better players in the conference. And it's this transfer portal things, and I'll answer questions about that, but kids can move around now. We signed one of the top players in the MAC from last year in Trenton Hankerson at NIU. He'll be playing for the Zips as a grad transfer. And I don't know if you know this, but we'll have 3 men's basketball student athletes working on the NBA this year. So that's pretty impressive. So Enrique Freeman, Xavier Castaneda, and Trenton Hankerson will all be working on a grad NBA degree this year. So we're really proud of the work that Coach John is doing in men's basketball. And then you got football, and then soccer. I know a lot of soccer fans in here. Well, Coach Imbic tells me we're back. He's got a 6'3" center back from Senegal. He said that guy needs to get off the bus first when we go to every road trip. So we're excited about the enforcer that he's gotten, because I think we were, you know, the game is so physical. You got to have some enforcers on the back line to kind of set the tone with all these fast little strikers. So really excited about what he's doing. And we hired a local soccer coach. So we hired the Case Western University women's soccer coach. She was the NCAA Division I National Coach of the Year. Case Western never won anything in soccer, and she took them to the Sweet 16 last year. And she's from Fairlawn area. Was born and raised in Akron, and went to Dayton, played college soccer at Dayton, was a 4-year starter at Dayton, great defender. And just having her in the program, she's very articulate, she's smart. And oh, by the way, her husband runs the Cleveland Internationals, the soccer club, so that's a boon because you know where our players go, so there's always a catch. So we're excited about that. And also the track program, and Roger Reed is involved in that. And I'll transition into some of the facilities work we're doing over at the University of Akron. Obviously, we lost the legendary coach Dennis Mitchell. Surprise, be quite honest with you, when your track coach who's been here for so long tells you he's gonna retire. Well, everybody has a right to retire, but I'm like, why July? You know? And so he decided to retire. He just said, hey, man, you know, and I think you've seen that across the country with coaches that have been in the game for a while. They're bowing out because the game has changed. You got name, image, and likeness where students are being paid by these different collectives. You got the transfer portal where you think you develop a kid from freshman to senior year. That doesn't happen. They decide they don't like what you're doing or the clothes you wear that day, and they get into the transfer portal and walk. And so it's a new era for a lot of head coaches now. And you see in like the Villanova coach, I mean, this guy was just in the national championship and he walked away. And a lot of it is they just don't want to be involved with paying, you know, basketball players $800,000 and wiring $800,000 cash into their bank accounts. I mean, it's just a different world in which we live in right now in college athletics. And we're trying to figure out what the new way of college athletics is going to look like in the next 20 years. So that was a bummer. And he walked right as we're building a new track. So the outdoor track is totally renovated. It's basically a brand new track. And it's going to be a great asset to the University of Akron. We're going to have the community out there. Before, when our track was up and running, you know, folks from the hospital would come down and walk during their lunch break. And we need that community connection. And we're excited about what's happening on Exchange Street as they redo Exchange Street over and how that's going to impact accessibility to the track for our community to come out and walk. Because, you know, having a healthy community is a good thing for everyone. And so we're going to encourage people to come over to the University of Akron and walk on that nice track that some of our great contributors have been part of. Roger Reed has been spearheading the project for many years and is finally coming to life. And so we're excited about that. We've made upgrades to Infocision Stadium. And, you know, we replaced the turf after 13 years. The life cycle on a field turf is actually 9 years. But one of the things we've done successfully over the last year is we've raised a tremendous amount of revenue to try to update some of our facilities. Because the challenge is we've got nice facilities, but they can get old very quickly if you don't pay attention to the details and continue to refresh them. So there's a lot of excitement building there. We just hired a great baseball coach. So we hired Coach Bills from Ohio State. And I tell you, we had a head coaches retreat yesterday, and just having Coach Bills in the room and just hearing the energy and passion. And I said, okay, we went through an exercise of what should we start doing, stop doing, and continue doing. And Coach Bills, who coached at Ohio State for 12 years, stood right up and said, this is what we need to stop doing. I talk to people in the interview and they tell me what we couldn't do at Akron. He said, we need to stop saying what we can't do and take the resources we have and make it happen. And that kind of set the tone for the entire coaches meeting, because oftentimes you can be in a situation where everybody say, I don't have X to be a competitor. Well, competitors find a way. And that's the type of environment we're building in our athletic department, is that we should be a champion. We've got the resources, we've got the community support, we got great facilities, a great recruiting base here in Ohio. There's no reason why all of our teams should not be a minimum in the top half of the league competing for championships year in, year out. So we're kind of setting that tone across the program. From an academic standpoint, we were able to get over a 3.0 for the entire fall and spring semester. I was proud of that work, but we got a little bit more work to do. I challenged our team because my time at Green Bay, we had like 3 or 4 teams that were top 10 in the NCAA in GPA. So I've challenged our coaches that we need to have, if we don't win the national championship for competitive excellence, let's win the national championship for academics. And there's such a thing. So we're working really hard on that. But I really want you all to come out for the September 1st game. That's at Infocision. It's on a Thursday night before Labor Day. I think we want to just welcome Coach Moorhead. We play St. Francis, so we should get a win. We better get a win against that game. And we were hoping that everyone comes out and really just get a taste of what Zips Nation is all about. Really exciting program. I might be remiss. We hired a softball coach who just 2 years ago was at Arizona State. And he was a 3-time coach of the year in the MAC at Ball State. And sometimes what's happening is these coaches go to these big time programs And it's about win, win, win now. And as he told me the story, he was 89-36 or something like that at Arizona State, and they told him, we don't go to the first round, we go to the World Series. Well, I told him, you come to Akron, I just want to win the MAC championship. So we're excited about that. With that being said, I think when you look at the totality of the program, there's just a lot of momentum building. I'm excited to come to work every day. I tell our coaches and our students that when you come to work, it should feel like the first day on the job, when you're looking at your computer, looking at your pencils, getting organized. And if you bring that mentality to work every day, like it's the first day you got the job, then everything else will work itself out. So with that being said, and getting long-winded, because I can go on and on about the excitement of Akron and the Zips and what we got brewing. Oh, we're also bringing a basketball practice facility online. And so we've been one of the few Division I programs without a dedicated facility for men's and women's basketball practice. And so you can imagine now with graduation going into the jar that you displace the teams in the wintertime. And so we need to make sure we have an ongoing practice facility for the men's and women's basketball program, and that's going really well. Trying to get the sound system up and running in the soccer stadium. I know some of you soccer fans out there, that piercing sound, I hear you, I know about it, I see the letters. I think we got a short-term solution. We tried to get the speaker system in place for the first game, but there's always issues now with product being delivered on time. And so we're gonna have a temporary solution to the permanent solution. But I think we're gonna rock the place out. So they did a demo and that thing was blaring. I said, just put some Elton John on there for me a little bit, get it cranked up. So that being said, I'm delighted. My family and I are delighted to be here. We call Akron home. My phone number is 330. I'm excited to be here long-term, as long as they keep me. I feel like this is my last job. You can't worry about the next job. You got to worry about being where you are and being in the moment. And I'm in the moment, dialed in. For me personally, I think we got coaches that are motivated. Our staff is motivated. The university is excited. And I got tired of watching those football games, losing and coming home. I can't take it. When you start accepting losing in athletics, it's time to get out of athletics. I mean, there's a reason why they're the scoreboard. I told one coach one day, he said, well, all you think about is winning. I said, well, if it's not winning, they should rip every scoreboard down in every stadium, and then we go from there. But until they start keeping count on that board, the goal is to be on top on that board. And so that's the mentality we have to have around here. So with that being said, I'll just take up some questions because maybe there's a lot of thoughts on your mind about the NCAA, the transfer portal, the name, image, and likeness, conference realignment. There's so many things going on in college athletics. I figure just open it up.
Are the kids free to move every year?
So right now, there's considered a one-time transfer rule where they can move and go and play right away. So prior to that, if you played in the sport of football and men's basketball and a couple other sports, you would have to sit out a year in order to play. So you couldn't just go transfer and play. This is Division I, related to Division I. You could transfer from Division I to Division II and play right away, but if you went to a Division I institution, you had to sit. And so that changed about a year ago. Now students have freedom of movement to go and play. And it's caused a lot of challenges, particularly in the sport of football, because football, high school kids are not being recruited right now because all the coaches are just going to the transfer portal and getting a kid who played at Michigan and sat the bench last year. Well, that kid is probably football ready than the high school kid because most football players sit for a year in residence. So it's really hurt the high school coaches a lot in football. And in basketball, it's turned into a really show because some of these student athletes are commanding between $400,000 to $800,000 in name, image, and likeness money in order to transfer to your institution. It's unbelievable. I don't know.
Yeah, so you were hired May of last year?
Started July 1, yep.
Started July 1. I want to say your first week in Akron, you went to Ken Stewart's.
I did.
Sat in the lounge,
yep.
And you sat next to none other than Tom Canalra.
Oh, wow.
I just want to tell you, so this is a story for everybody. So I meet our new athletic director. He talks about winning. He talks about wanting to be here in Akron, wants to make this his home. He was passionate about the Zips. I was like, oh my God, this guy's crazy. And he's like, he's asked about football, basketball, soccer, all the programs that matter. He's like, no, we're going to win back championships. Promise me that. So he leaves. I'm talking to Tom about this. I honestly felt like, oh my God, what did the president say to him in the interview? He's drinking the Kool-Aid already. It's his first week in town.
Mhm.
But now, you're a year into it, and I just want to tell you, I'm so proud of everything you've already done. Because your passion, your enthusiasm, your commitment to the city and the university, it shines through. You've already done so much from the first year. I think all of us are so proud of all the good work that's happened at the university. So God bless you, keep it up. Thanks for saying yes to Akron.
Thank you, and God bless you as well, thank you. Appreciate that. We got 5 MAC championships last year, so, you know, people say, what are you gonna do for an encore? I think sequels are bad, so I'm going for a trilogy. So I think we gotta do something, or a franchise. When you do a franchise like Grand Ole Theft, it continues to roll on and on and on. Sometimes sequels are just not that great.
So my husband has been a season ticket holder for years and started taking our kids to all the football and basketball games when they were 3. And my middle daughter ended up going to Kent State, but she would sit in the middle of the Kent State crowd with all of her Akron U gear on and challenge anybody to say anything to her and tried to get an AK Rowdies group going on Kent State's campus. So just want to let you know that that really does ring true to all of us. I'm really curious, you touched a little bit on the name, image, and likeness. Is it really difficult in the mid-majors to be dealing with this as opposed to some of the higher conferences?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I applaud your daughter, you know. Maybe she can go to grad school at the University of Akron if she has any more time left. But I think it's created a lot of challenge and angst for a lot of coaches and staff because it's the unknown. Many of us believe is what they call an inducement of payment, which is a total violation of NCAA rules, but no one's gonna come forward and say they're cheating. So I think the NCAA, and we're looking for a new president to lead the NCAA. I think once that leadership is established, we've got to go back to the institutions and get control of this whole name, image, and likeness. There's a couple facets of name, image, and likeness. I'm all for players being able and student athletes being able to capitalize their name. I grew up when Greg Anthony played for UNLV, and remember there was a violation for him selling some t-shirts with his name on it. Well, what stops the music person from going and playing in the band on the weekend and getting money to play in the band or use their name, image, and likeness? So I think it's the right thing to do. But when you start throwing around anywhere from $400,000 to $800,000 to pay kids, and oh, by the way, some of these programs for the most part are being subsidized by student fees, and yet this person is making $800,000 to play. And so at some point it's going to come to a head. And then you've got faculty members who are making 90 grand on the campus to teach these guys who are making 800 grand. So I think there's got to be some sort of cleanup on how name, image, and likeness is portrayed and how it's being used. I mean, you don't want to stop anyone from being able to capitalize. I mean, that's the first thing. You want people to be able to go out and if their name is powerful. But I typically look at it this way. Who were you before you got to the University of Akron? There's something to be said about that. I mean, if Akron is the one that put you on the podium and allowed you to have this name and image and likeness, because if you walk to Acme and you want to start at Akron, who would know you? And so I think at some point we've got to get this thing under control because it's caused a lot of problems for people recruiting, and particularly at the mid-majors. I mean, we don't have $800,000 for no one player or quarterback. We just don't have it. But we do know and realize it's real. And many of our supporters have stepped up and they're doing things, you know, they're working on, you know, it's independent from the athletic department. So I've heard we've got a collective, which is where they collect all the money and have the student athletes do whatever they do. But we've kind of treaded light from an administrative standpoint so that we're not the ones violating NCAA rules when they come down and bring the guillotine down in the next couple months here. But I think it's a major challenge because I think it's, you know, whenever you have some kids on the campus driving Ferraris and everybody else taking the bus, I don't think that's a good thing. And particularly when a lot of people are taking out student loans and things of that nature. I value the scholarship because when you can go and play Division I athletics and reduce your bill and walk out pretty much debt-free, you've got a leg up on most of society. And there's value to that. And then if you look at some of the other institutions, I worked in the Ivy League. You know the value of an admission slot at Columbia? If you put that out, we saw the varsity blues of what it's like. I mean, admissions to a university at some of these elite universities is worth more than gold in its weight. You know what I mean? And so I feel like we're at a peculiar place in college athletics, which is name, image, and likeness. And I think it's turned into what it wasn't intended. It was intended to allow student athletes to do some things on the side, but it's now turned into where they're paying players to come and select the university. And I think it's caused us a lot of challenges.
So following up on the name, image, and likeness, did you say the university, there's a collective established for the University of Akron, or, and that's separate from the university?
Correct. So it would be, it's community members who decide they want to create a collective. And I've been told that we have some sort of collective.
And a collective is basically a clearinghouse to support the student athletes with opportunities to make money.
So I don't know where the NCAA gets these fancy terms, but collective sounds to me like they're collecting money to basically give it back to the student athletes, in a nutshell, for whatever they do.
I used to play at the University of Akron. I've been a season ticket holder for football, basketball, and soccer for too long. Well, not too long, but I love it. But nearly 35 years. So I am excited about the programs. I trust that the university works on a way to get the community more aware of the success that it's having. So.
Well, thank you, and thank you. And it's, we're not afraid of the collective, and if you don't embrace name, image, and likeness, it can cause you problems. So I know Toledo and some of the other schools in the MAC have already set up collectives through their name, image, and likeness process. They're outside groups, and it's real, because if we have success in football, we don't want to lose our quarterback. So how do you keep your quarterback when X school is offering them $25,000 through a name, image, and likeness deal? And so these are real issues that we're dealing with, because if you lose your starting quarterback or your starting point guard, you could be back to square one. And so it could kill your momentum.
We're a moment after one, so I'm going to pause for Linda real quick to wrap it. If we can have a couple additional questions maybe afterwards, but Linda, do you want to?
Sure. All right, thank you.
Oh,
mouse.
Yeah.
A mouse in the house.
We have a guest in the house, floor one, Cheryl. There's a guest in the house.
Yeah. Little excitement this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. He's going to stay here afterwards, so feel free to linger, and he'll give some more answers to your excellent questions. We'll do happy dollars, and Dr. Doug and Connor, do you want to?
I need you to go around really rapid circuit. We have three winners. All right, number is 228-486.
228-486.
Tomcat, all right.
Tom, congratulations.
So Tom gets the opportunity to pick up our looking to the Joker, and he also has a wonderful opportunity to sell tickets next week. Yeah. That's close. So you also get $7. What is the
Here's your score. I don't know if you need this one.
So Charles, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Akron and Kent State University, my alumni, I present you a little token of our appreciation. It is the Rotary pin for the Imagine Year of 2022-23.
Thank you so much.
You'll come back. Is that a promise?
That's a promise.
Okay.
I don't want to name them as like this all.
I'll come and get you. Thank you. It was excellent having you here with us. Any other quick announcements before I ring the mighty bell?
Again, Roger, it was good having you come back again. So with that said, our meeting is adjourned. Have a safe afternoon. Thank you so much for coming.